I'm Rob Dansman, and this is The Better Semester, where I provide insight and actionable advice to parents of college students. I'm a nationally certified counselor and licensed clinical mental health counselor. Hey everyone, today we're diving into the transition to freshman year. I remember my freshman year. It was a while ago. I didn't know anyone, but I was super excited and ready to get into the next chapter of my life. Even though it was generally a positive experience for me, freshman year was still unlike any other transition I'd been through up to that point. For today, I'll be pulling insights from psychology and data on college success, and also some hard truths I've seen in my work with students and their parents, so that your transitions are also positive and well thought out as much as they can be. Think of this as a mashup between therapy, a business case study, and a tough love conversation with someone who really wants your kid to thrive. For good measure, I've added some stories from actual clients, though I've changed their names to protect their identities, obviously, but I'm sure these examples will all sound very familiar to most of you. All right, let's get into it. To start with, we're going to be talking about kind of the big picture here. Here's the headline. College transition is a developmental earthquake. Every pillar of a student's identity, academic, social, emotional, financial, spiritual, gets tested and shaken up even if they don't understand or acknowledge it. The American College Health Association reports that nearly 60% of students report overwhelming anxiety at their first semester. Half say they felt so depressed they struggled to function. That is not to scare you. It's to set expectations. Assume there will be challenges, arguments, crying, excitement, fear, depression, anxiety, all the above and more. It's easier to address the ups and downs if you are expecting them rather than reactive to them. All right, what's some actionable advice for this? Normalize the struggle. Instead of asking, "Are you happy?" ask, "What's been most challenging this week? And how are you working through it?" That single shift reduces pressure, invites honesty, and keeps the relationship open. Okay, so I was working with a family last year, parents from New Jersey. Son headed to a Big Ten school in the Midwest. Mom kept saying, "I just want him to be happy." Within 3 weeks, he was homesick, eating Chick-fil-A every night and telling her on FaceTime, "I hate it here." Now, is this a normal adjustment? Absolutely. But because mom's barometer was happy instead of learning how to adjust, she panicked. She called me, called the RA. I think she even called a dean maybe. By October, he'd joined the intramural soccer team, found a study group, though I'm not really sure that he was actually studying, but whatever, and loved his poli-sci class. He didn't need rescue. He needed a little bit of space. So normalize the struggle. Don't measure success by whether they're happy today. Measure whether they're building resilience, or, as I like to frame it, anti-fragility over time. All right, number 2, part 2, next section, letting go. Here's the truth. Parents often think they're helping by micromanaging, but they're just signaling, "I don't trust you." That erodes confidence. Think of it like investing. If you want compounding interest, you have to put money in and then leave it alone. Checking the market every 10 minutes just makes you anxious. Same with your kid. The data backs this up. A 2019 Stanford study showed that students with helicopter parents had lower resilience and more difficulty managing setbacks. So what's the actionable advice on this one? We've got to redefine success. Success freshman year is not straight A's. It's your son or daughter learning how to advocate for themselves, emailing a professor, using office hours, finding the tutoring center, building friendships that aren't just convenience-based. It's also being healthy enough to return for sophomore year. Okay, here's a little bit about a family I worked with. A dad I worked with, successful hedge fund manager, told me, "I'm worried about my daughter, won't ask for help if she needs it." Here's what he was doing. Secretly, he was checking her student portal every week, maybe even every day, actually several times a day, tracking every quiz grade. She found out, and you can imagine it, trust was shattered. But when we reframed success as her learning to advocate for herself, not perfect grades, he shifted. Instead of, did you ace that econ exam? He started asking, what did you do when you got stuck on the assignment? Within a semester, she was in a professor office hour twice a week. Her grades had improved, not because her dad managed it, but because she learned to manage herself. All right, part 3, next up. Now we're going to be talking about mental health and wellness. Here are the big things students often undervalue: sleep, nutrition, and social connection. Yet they are the 3 most powerful predictors of emotional well-being in college, not academics. Surprised? Evidence shows students who sleep fewer than 6 hours are twice as likely to report depressive symptoms. Nutrition? Well, a 2020 meta-analysis linked poor diet quality to higher rates of anxiety in young adults. And loneliness? It's not just sad, it's dangerous. Loneliness has the same mortality impact as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. All right, what's actionable on this one? This gets a little messy. Shift your role from manager to coach. Instead of nagging about sleep, ask, what's your strategy for staying rested when you've got late night dorm life? Instead of saying, eat better, you might ask, what's your go-to healthy meal on campus? That helps them problem solve instead of just resist you. One of the families I worked with, the student's name, Ethan, lived in a dorm where people stayed up until 2 or 3 in the morning every single night. His mom kept texting him, are you getting enough sleep? Which of course annoyed him. So he totally started ghosting her. So I coached her to flip the script. Instead of nagging, she asked, what's your strategy for staying rested when everyone's up late? And you know what? That one question got him thinking. He started crashing in the library tucked in a quiet corner spot between classes. And 2 nights a week, he set a hard cutoff, earplugs in, lights off. By October, his grades and mood both improved. She wasn't managing his bedtime. She was helping him problem solve. Part 4, number 4, next section, communication without conflict. Let's be real. Most parent-student fights come down to misalignments. Parents want reassurance. Students want autonomy and freedom. You call, they don't answer. You panic. They text back, fine, and you feel shut out. You know what that cycle creates? Guilt, resentment, avoidance. Here's the evidence-based fix. Set a communication contract. A little bit cheesy, but agree on when, how, and how often you'll check in. Maybe it's 2 calls a week and a couple of texts. That way you're not nagging and they're not ghosting. And when you do talk, ask open-ended questions. Research from the Gottman Institute shows conversations thrive when 70% of your questions are curiosity-based, not judgment-based. All right, I stuck in some actionable advice on this one, even though I gave you some just then. Write down your top 3 hopes for your kid this semester, and then tear it up. Replace them with one question you'll ask every week. What did you learn about yourself this week? That's the stuff that matters. It's a bit cheesy, but it's a nice thought prompt. Don't expect a profound answer right now. Just drop it in their lap and walk away. Okay, here's a little story. I'll never forget this mom from Chicago. She called me in tears, literally sobbing on the phone because her daughter had gone radio silent. That's what she called it. We obviously call it ghosting. She was calling 3 times a day, no answer. Then when her daughter finally picked up, it was 1-word answers: fine, good, busy. When I asked the daughter what was going on, she said, every time I see a missed call, I feel guilty, so I just avoid her. No duh. We set a communication contract. Sundays at 6 p.m., I think it was, Wednesdays after class, Mom gets her updates, daughter feels less pressure. And guess what? The quality of those conversations skyrocketed. It's not about constant connection, it's about consistent connection. Okay, part 5, red flags versus normal struggles. Parents often ask, how do I know if this is normal adjustment or like a super big real problem that's coming up? Here's the breakdown. Normal is stress around exams, homesickness, roommate drama, missing home food. What are some of the red flags? Like the big things to worry about? Withdrawing from friends, skipping classes for more than a week, significant changes in sleep or appetite, constant hopelessness, or talk of self-harm. That last one is kind of a no-duh as well. And here's the key. When in doubt, call CAPS or Counseling and Psychological Services or a therapist that's right near campus. Most universities have 24-hour crisis line. Know that number. Share it with your student. Make it normal to ask for help. What's the actionable advice on this one? Before drop-off, put these 3 numbers into your phone and your kid's phone. CAPS, Counseling and Psychological Services, Campus Security, and Student Health Services. That's not overreacting. It's smart parenting. All right. A student of mine named Maya started skipping meals, sleeping all day, and missing 100% of classes. Her parents thought it was just homesickness. But when I talked with her, she said, I don't see the point of trying anymore at anything. Hopelessness. That's the red flag. Homesickness is, I miss home, but I'll be okay. Hopelessness is different. It signals a deeper depression. Her parents, thankfully, acted fast. They called me, and then we connected her with academic and psychological resources, got her evaluated within a month. She had a support system, therapy, and was slowly re-engaging. What's the lesson here? Don't dismiss those warning signs. It's always better to overreact than underreact. All right. I just talked a whole lot. We're going to land this thing. We're going to close it up. All right. Freshman transition isn't about protecting your kid from every struggle. It's about giving them space to wrestle with the challenges and showing up as a supportive, steady presence. Remember, here are your 5 moves to take away from this. Normalize the struggle. Redefine success as independence. Coach wellness instead of nagging. Create a communication contract. Bit cheesy, but let's stick with that. Know the red flags and the resources. Your job isn't to prevent every stumble. It's to make sure those stumbles don't turn into stepping stones that they trip over and hurt themselves on. All right. I'm Rob Dansman, and this is The Better Semester. Thanks for listening. If you found this helpful, share it with another parent who's about to start this journey, because the more prepared we are, the better the semester will be for your student. Also, sign up for my newsletter with even more detailed insights for students and their parents. Lastly, please check out my 2 books. Go to Amazon and check out my name, Rob Dansman. See you all next time.